Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Our Morning Take. My name is Frank Johnson.
I'm Nick Seaman.
And I'm Tim Goetz.
Our goal here is to describe for you the movie that is going on in our head when we read the Bible. Today is Tuesday. I believe it's November 7th. It's Election Day. And this is episode number?
212.
Boiling. We're boiling. 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Boiling.
Nice.
And I always do. I teach science in middle school, and we were talking about the Celsius and Fahrenheit scales, and I said, we had 0 Celsius is freezing, and 100 degrees Celsius is boiling. These kids know that, like 6th graders, and I wouldn't think so, but they don't know that Fahrenheit 212 degrees. Boy, they had no idea what. But how do they know that 100 degrees centigrade is boiling?
I don't know. Maybe it just really. It might have just been really.
So of course I
pushed
threw.
hard.
So we were talking about the degrees of the sun. How hot the sun is, and I think it's if I remember right, I think it's 275 million degrees Fahrenheit. I believe that's what it is. So I was trying to figure out what it was, Kelvin. I threw the Kelvin scale in there because I said, there's a scientific scale. That wouldn't be that hot in Kelvin because 0 is, I think, 450 some degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. Isn't it something like that? And that's absolute 0?
Yeah.
Yeah. You actually helped me with that somewhat.
Yeah, that's where all particles,
everything
just
stopped
stops.
moving. Yeah.
Like even
molecules stop moving at that point. That's absolute 0. So that would be death.
Yeah.
Be absolute death.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway. But yeah, so I threw that Kelvin scale in there. I have no idea why I brought that up either. But it's a way to introduce today's podcast.
Yeah.
We're in Genesis 44, and we're actually going to get some of the story today. Yesterday, we were just kind of catching up for our weekends.
Yeah,
I
it was
really
good, though.
wanted to hear about Tim's fishing thing that he did. And
That was cool.
Because that sounds like a lot of fun, and I definitely want to get invited next year, so we'll throw my money down in there. We're in Genesis chapter 44. If you don't know where we're at in the story, so the brothers have come to Egypt to buy grain because there's a great famine in the land. And so when they come, Joseph recognizes his brothers, but they do not recognize him. And, of course, he's the leader. He's the main guy in charge. He tells them he doesn't believe that all of them are there, and they're not. They tell him that they literally volunteer that there were 12 of them. One is no more, meaning Joseph. He's dead. And Benjamin is still at home with Daddy. And Joseph wants to really see his real brother, his full brother, by his mom, Rachel, Benjamin. So he makes a deal with them that he's going to keep Simeon back. He's going to keep him in jail until they come back. And he knows they're going to come back because it's 7 years of famine. They don't know it'll be 7 years, but Joseph knows it will be. So he knows they're coming back probably a few times. And next time you come, you have to bring your younger brother. The brothers go home. They tell Judah this whole story. And Judah says, Jacob.
Yeah.
They tell Jacob this whole story, and Jacob says, man, now you're going to have to take Benjamin down there. He doesn't want to do it. Judah says, well, we're not going unless you do let us take Benjamin.
He says we have to.
Yeah, have to, because he's otherwise we're going to come back with nothing. We might not even come back. I mean, he would just throw us all in jail. So anyway, as Abe pointed out last week, Jacob prays about this thing. He prays, he contemplates, he contends with God, his namesake. That's why they address him as Israel. And he comes up with this idea, okay, well, if you go, take some gifts with you. Let's take some gifts. Let's take extra money. And perhaps his heart will be in the right place where he will give me back my son Simeon, and Benjamin can come back in one piece. But you know what? I'm just going to stop worrying about this whole thing. If I'm bereaved, I'm bereaved. That's what he said. One of the best verses in chapter 43. Tim very aptly commented on that and said, man, if we just all lived like that, we wouldn't have anything to worry about. If we just know that our lives are in God's hands and that it doesn't really matter, whatever happens is going to happen. God already knows it's going to happen. He wrote Romans 8:28, knowing this very thing, that for us that love him and are called according to his purpose, that everything that comes into our life is for our own good. He's going to work it for that. And we all go through these personal problems. And I know my brother's going through some personal problems just like that. And we all know people that are doing that. And just knowing that God is sovereign, you know it's all going to work out. It's all going to work out because that's God.
Yeah.
Amen.
Y'all can't let me preach like that, man.
No,
That's where
I need to be preached
I was
at
getting ready
sometimes.
to say we need to take up an offering here.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
Everybody bow
spoken
your
like
head,
a
close
true
your
pastor
eyes.
right there.
Yeah.
Let's take up.
We need some money now.
Let's take up an offering or gain another sponsor.
Genesis 44. The brothers are brought back. Then he commanded his house steward, and this is Joseph, of course. Joseph has got them back there. They've come back to Egypt. Joseph sees the 10 brothers. No, I guess there's only 9 now. There's only 9 because he's got Simeon, and he's Joseph,
and he is a brother.
But they do bring Benjamin, so I
Yeah.
guess there are 10 of them.
Yeah, that would be
so
true.
there's 10 of them. So anyway, he commanded his house steward, saying, "Fill the men's sacks with food, as much as they can carry," because he's already fed them. They had a dinner and everything. "And put each man's money in the mouth of his sack." So once again, Joseph is going to give them their money back, even all that extra money they brought. He's giving them all their money back. "And put my cup," and this is a special cup, "put my cup, the silver cup, in the mouth of the sack of the youngest, and his money for the grain." And he did as Joseph had told him. And as soon as it was light, the men were sent away, they with their donkeys, and they had just gone out of the city, and they were not far off, when Joseph said to his house steward, "Up, follow the men, and when you overtake them, say to them, 'Why have you repaid evil for good? Is not this the one from which my Lord drinks, and indeed which he uses for divination? You have done wrong in doing this.'" So what's the movie in your head, Nick? He concocts quite a story here. What are they doing?
Yeah. So he has them put this cup in there, and it is a special cup. It's a silver cup, and the Egyptians use that for divination for hydromancy. You know, you've heard of necromancy?
Yeah, that's a fancy
bringing the
word.
dead back to life. Well, they use water for
Water.
for mancy.
For Mancy.
and so this isn't just like a valuable cup; it's like very important. Almost kind of like whenever was it Rachel that took the idols? You know, it wasn't just that they were worth money because they were a certain material is what they represented.
Yeah.
And so,
And he hasn't put it in the youngest, so he gives it to
Yeah.
Benjamin.
yeah,
So he's really setting Benjamin up.
yeah. And these poor brothers, they're like, we didn't do anything the last time either. Why does this keep happening? I
Yeah.
bet that's what they're going to think.
He definitely wants to keep his younger brother there.
Yeah.
And so he's found a way to have him arrested, basically, right?
yeah,
It's not like cops ever plan anything on anybody today, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So
not at all.
So this is where they got it. They got it from Genesis 44. You just
Hey, that's not my hydromancy cup. It's my cousin's. I'm just holding it for him.
I'm just holding it for him.
You know, my favorite Cops episode is when the guy goes, "These aren't even my pants." What the heck, man? Anyway, where are we at here? What verse are we at? 5? No,
Yeah.
we're at 6, I think.
Yeah.
So he overtook them, and he spoke these words to them. They said to him, "Why does my Lord speak such words as these? Far be it from your servants to do such a thing." They're already saying, "We
What
haven't
is up with that?
We haven't taken a thing, man. We might be liars. We might have sold our brother into slavery, but we're honest men." They keep saying that all the time. We are honest men.
You know, usually when people repeat that they're honest, they're usually not.
Amen.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah.
"Behold, the money which we found in the mouth of our sacks we have brought back to you from the land of Canaan. How then could we steal silver or gold from your Lord's house? With whomever of your servant it is found, let him die." So they're basically saying, so they've overtook them. They don't know that the cup is in Benjamin's sack. But what they do know is that whoever sack you find it in, he will die.
Yeah.
Because no one took your thing, so you're not going to find it in anybody's sack. "And with whomever your servant is found, let him die. And we will also be my Lord's slaves. So not only will we let you kill the person that actually... Oh, and it's Benjamin, too. Can you imagine if they really carried this out?
Yeah.
Jacob would have said, "You told them what?"
Yeah. Yeah.
"You did not. You guys are always offering information you don't need to give." You stupid brothers. Come back tomorrow. You'll hear a little bit more of this story.